Growing an audience on Twitter is way more easier than you think, but people get bogged down in thinking that they're shadow banned, that the algorithm hates them, or that they're doing something wrong outside of their control. But most of the time, if you're really honest with yourself, it's got nothing to do with the algorithm and all to do with the things that you're doing wrong. And so in this video, I'm going to be going through the common issues that people fall foul of. We're going to be looking at the things that people get wrong, how to avoid them, and how we can get your content loved by the algorithm. So if you avoid these things, we can get you some killer growth on Twitter. So first off, we're going to go through the really obvious no-nos that you should never do for your account. These might seem simple, but if we don't tell you, then you might just do them. Now, there was a time when follow for follow was a thing on Twitter. I wouldn't recommend it now because you're not going to get the type of audience that are going to be looking at your content and enjoying what you do. If all they're doing is following you for a follow back, then it's highly unlikely that they're going to stick around for any of your stuff. You want people who are following you because of the quality of your content and what you're putting out there, not just because you've done a simple favor. This trick goes again for like, which is not a really good idea either. And another bad piece of advice is spam tagging people in lists. Now, it's great to get a shout out once in a while, but these huge Twitter lists, all they do is just clog up people's notifications, annoys them, you're going to get muted, you're maybe even going to get blocked, and what you think might be a compliment is actually pretty annoying. Another poor piece of advice is spam commenting on anything. Reply guys are a little bit annoying. What a reply guy is someone who comments under your tweets for a certain amount of time, really disingenuously, and the only aim is to warm you up so that they can direct message you. It's just not going to work. Be authentic, comment, engage like a human being, and you'll be treated like a human being. Another big no-no is any automated tools doing any likes or comments for you. Just think of the types of people that are going to be seeing your comments. The thing is, people aren't stupid, and if they see a generic comment, hit on your reply button and just see a host of these replies, they're going to know that you're fake, they're going to know that you're inauthentic, and they're not going to engage with your stuff in the future. Mute. One of the things that I've tried in the past is automated direct messaging tools. But the problem with that is as soon as you start going and you start getting a couple of followers, your direct messages get blocked and it's a big waste of time. So I wouldn't advise it. The next thing that I see is contradicting people when you're trying to do a reply on someone's tweet. Twitter is not a place for nuance, so if you put a comment on somebody else's tweet and they receive it negatively, it's not a great way to start a conversation. Think about it, an idea has been put out there, and the first thing this person sees is you saying, actually, you're wrong because. If you want to grow, keep it light, keep it positive, that's the best way to go. The next big mistake we see that is going to hurt your conversion when people actually come to your account is pinning your most viral content. Now, on the face of it, it seems like a great idea to pin your most viral content, but if you think about it, as social proof, all it shows you is that you've gone viral. And if you've looked at any of the viral tweets, that's not essentially a great thing. Instead of something that's gone viral as social proof, why don't you actually give social proof of the product or service that you offer? A much better idea would be a thread or a piece of content which shows people what you're all about. Some people even compile a thread of threads so that people can dive deep into everything that they have to offer before buying their product or service. Make sure that piece of content is actionable and represents what you have to offer to turn people from a lurker into a super fan. Now, the next thing that you should definitely avoid is spamming your own timeline with links. So a lot of people plug their newsletter, their website, or their Telegram group, or whatever it is they're plugging. Quite a lot of people overdo it and they plug after every single tweet, and after a while, you're gonna get muted. If you want the advice of a big account, take for example Justin Welsh. He drops a very subtle newsletter link every so often, keeps his timeline fresh so that it's just actionable advice. Now, the next big no-no is focusing on aesthetics over actual quality content. Yeah, it's great to post things of aesthetic quality and you see all these tweets that have this sloping effect when they're giving out a list, but let's be honest, it's more about the quality of the content than what it actually looks like. Now, if you're selling visual type content like a graphic designer, then of course you should focus on the aesthetics. But Twitter is about the content of those ideas and getting your message out there. Think about the accounts that you follow. Are they aesthetically pleasing, or is it more about the quality of what they're sharing? For those of you who are obsessed with what your tweets look like on the timeline, High Fury's got a great feature where you can see how a thread looks as you write it. You can check it out before you post it, you can put a thread finisher on there. It looks great and it'll look great on the timeline, and you already know this because you've seen it. And finally, the biggest no-no that we see is spreading yourself too thinly at the start of your online business journey. Now, there are ways to cross-post content across multiple platforms using schedulers like Hype Fury. But one of the biggest problems that we see creators make, especially in the beginning, is trying to grow an audience on every single platform that they've heard of. Building an online audience across multiple platforms usually takes multiple people. And what you don't see with some of these bigger accounts is that they actually have people helping them to do all of this for them. Now, we've spoken to bigger accounts and they say that the best way to do it is to focus on one channel until you get big. Once you've got a big audience, then it's much easier to transfer those people across to another platform. There are people who have gone from LinkedIn to Twitter, taken their Instagram audience and brought them over to YouTube. Now, the common theme here is to nail one platform so you've got it down. Get your audience to a particular size and then transfer that audience somewhere else. Simply stopping doing those things will help you grow. But if you want to supercharge your growth, then I suggest you watch this video here where I'll go into the details of getting rich on Twitter in 2023.